How do I talk about myself if I'm supposed to let the woman do 80% of the talking?
What is it that you want to say that you feel like you're not going to say? And so the reason why I discuss this and I teach this in 3% Man is because these are basic things out of how to win friends and influence people. And if you're a dude that's on a date, especially in the beginning, and you're trying to get to know a girl, and obviously if she's beautiful and hot, she knows it. She don't need you to tell her. And so by getting to know her as a human being, you're no longer seeing her just like every other dude sees her, which is like, I really like to stick something in it. So you're trying to get to know her because when somebody takes a sincere, authentic interest in you, you feel like they care. You feel like you know them. It's just like if you think about when you're in a grocery store and you run into somebody that you grew up with or you went to high school. What are you doing? What have you been up to? How's the family? You still working that job? You still live in that house? You still have that car? Whatever it happens to be. And so you're asking personal questions about what's going on with them. And so it helps you remain mysterious because she's doing most of the talking. And if she's doing most of the talking and then you go on a date, and just like I talked about in 3% Man, you get to the end of the date and the girl's like, I talk so much. I don't know anything about you. Tell me about you. And the reason being is that if she likes you and she cares about you, she's going to ask personal questions about you as well. And if you're just sitting there giving her your resume and telling her all your accomplishments, you're seeking her attention and validation, which is not masculine. You're trying to prove your worth to her. And then when you sit there and you talk for 80% of the time, she thinks this dude's a selfish jerk and all he wants to do is talk about himself. And it's going to turn her off. You're trying to turn her on. You also don't want to turn your girl into your mommy or your therapist. You want to make sure that she's with you because she likes you as a person. If you're hanging out and you're taking her on dates and yet she never asks you anything about yourself, that should be something that should give you pause because you want to be with somebody who's mutually interested. And women will go out on dates and enjoy you spending money and buying free drinks because they think, hey, it's better than staying home looking at the four walls. Besides, maybe I'll like one of his friends or I'll meet somebody when I'm out. It happens.
Maybe
So
she
you
can.
got to make sure the girl's there for you because she wants to get to know you as well. And therefore, if you let her ask the questions that she's interested in, then you can be sure that she actually has interest in you instead of you just bragging. Because if you do 80% of the talking, she's not going to want to go out on another date with you. You got something you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that women like to know more about the guy that they're on dates with because you never know who you're sitting across the table from, especially like on a first date or a second date, even like a third date. But we have two ears and one mouth for a reason. We're supposed to be listening to the person that's across from us, not really talking. You want to get to know the person, or why are you there? Like, I don't want to be wasting my time. I don't want to be wasting somebody else's time.
Yeah, you should be
And
on
I
a date
don't,
with somebody that you're fascinated by
yeah,
and you want to know all about her. If you're fascinated by the girl and you're really, in addition to being physically attracted, you like what she has to say, she's interesting to listen to, ask her the kind of questions she would enjoy answering. What do you want to know about her?
I mean, personally, I'd rather be home with my four walls and
Your
my
cats
my cats
and your dogs
and my dog than with
and your
somebody who
yoga
I'm
mat.
exactly. I'd rather be in child's pose than with a stranger that I'm not interested in. I have better things to do with my life than entertain somebody and lead them on. It's not
There
it's
are
not
lots of women that will do that.
but for how long? Like how long could somebody actually do that? Like until they lose
Well, if think about it from this perspective, your average guy, what's he making? Maybe 30, 40 grand a year. The average blue collar dude, he's not making a fortune. And if he doesn't want to go out on 2 or 3 dates and blow 50, $100 on each date, only to find out she wasn't interested in him in the first place. So you got to think about those things as well, because it's a time and a money investment. And you don't want to go out on dates with girls that are like, oh, I got nothing to do. I'm not really interested in this guy, but hey, it's better than staying at home looking at the four walls. because there are women that will go out on dates with you with that attitude. And then when you're at the bar hanging out, have some drinks, and then you go away to the bathroom and you come back and there's some random dude talking to your girl. And right as you're walking up, you see her sliding her phone number to him. I mean, those things are going to happen. It's like, so it's going to cost you money and it's going to cost time. And the most valuable thing you have is your time. So you don't want to let people waste it. You want to make sure they really care and they're really interested. And if a girl doesn't like you, she'll never ask you anything about yourself. She'll never ask you one personal question. She wouldn't care if you got run over by a bus and became road pizza right in front of her. She would just, you would just move on, wouldn't care.
Also, if the silence is awkward, it's not
That's a
good
sign.
either. Yeah.
Yeah. If you can't, like when you first meet, say you meet in person, if you can't
Keep
converse
going.
effortlessly in person, there's no reason to go out on a date. It ain't gonna get better.
Yeah.
A woman that likes you will help you in conversation. She'll make it fun to talk to her. And probably the dude that wrote the question, he's probably going out on dates with girls he shouldn't be going out with. And maybe he's noticing that he's not getting asked anything personal. And so that tells me he's going out with girls that aren't really into him.
I agree. And also, like, if it's like a financial thing for whoever it is, they should stick to like happy hours. It's cheaper. It's also a different way to see other people that are out.
Yeah, it's easy to dip out if you have a drink or two
Exactly.
versus like, hey, let's go to dinner and it's a first date.
And then
It's
you're
like
stuck.
a good place. Yeah, exactly. A good place to go is to go in like a wine bar or something and have a glass of wine. And if you like what you're hearing, you can have another glass of wine. And then there could be a place close by that you guys can walk to, and then maybe you have some food there if it goes well. But if you go and you have a drink, you have a glass of wine, and you're just not feeling the vibe, you could say, hey, it's been great meeting you. I'm going to run. Have a great night. And you can take off. Versus picking her up and taking her a big, expensive dinner, especially if you're these guys that do online dating and just text girls, but they never talk on the phone. It's like, you don't even know if you can have a conversation with her. And then it's like, you'll have more dates, but you're gonna be wasting a lot of time and a lot of money going out on dates with girls. You just sit there and you're like, man, I'd rather talk to a lampshade than talk to her.
Have you ever gone on a date and like seen her and then didn't say anything to her and just like walked out the door?
No, I have not done that, but I have walked up and been like, oh. It's like, 'cause she doesn't look anything like her pictures.
You got catfished?
Well, it's like they're using pictures from years ago and she's ballooned up nicely, and you're like, I wasn't expecting that. She figures, oh, once he gets to know me, he'll like me for my personality.
Did you mention it or say anything to the person?
I think I just had a drink and
left.
Oh, so you
got to run. It's great meeting you.
That's what.
But just sitting there the whole time and having a drink and talking to somebody you don't want to talk to,
it's a burden.
Horrible. It's a burden, exactly.
It's a burden.
You feel like, damn, I'm doing some charity work tonight.
Exactly.
Little things in regards to the pictures, that's when you know they're insecure and they're lying. Because if you can't put a recent picture up, you know, you're just very insecure about yourself. Me personally.
Yeah, that happened to me one time. This guy I went on a date with, this was like years ago, but he looked like a supermodel, like was a great looking guy, and then he also did model. So then when I went on a date with him, he was not. He was definitely had gained some weight. This must have been like 10 years before, because he gained weight like really in his face and had a belly. And I was like, oh, okay. I finished it because I'm not like a horrible person. I was like, talk to him, and but he got friend zoned. You know, there was nothing after that.
Immediate friend zone.
Yeah.
Established.
Well, also you lied. You know,
he let himself go.
He was,
yeah, and you were lying
first.
to me.
Got sent to the land of friend zone.
Yeah, I mean, he was a nice guy, but why lie about that? I probably would have still, liked you. You know, he was not terrible looking. You know, he was just overweight and didn't care about his body afterwards. So, but the fact that he lied, that was,
And he didn't pass the physical attraction test.
Right, he was, but was
that's
not
a
good.
sign. Like when you don't care about yourself, and your like health, how are you going to care about somebody else? Like if you don't love yourself entirely,
right?
Are you going to love somebody else?
A woman who neglects her body eventually will
Not
neglect
just a woman, a man. We're talking about the man in this instance. Like
I'm talking about the woman.
Well,
woman.
If he doesn't love himself, if he doesn't care about himself, how's he going to care about you?
That's right. Well, don't
mean,
love yourself too much, because then.
I mean, you need to make a little bit of room for me too here. But
on those days where they just love themselves entirely way too much,
they can have
embarrassing.
Thursday and Sunday. But
And Sunday.
yeah,
Thursday and Sunday.
Sunday's a good day.
Sunday is for me and Sundog. But yeah.